Hughes.
Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, will he call on the Japanese government to release New Zealand citizen Peter Bethune of the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, when Mr. Bethune stepped aboard the Shonan Maru, he rendered himself liable to Japanese legal jurisdiction as a consequence of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. That convention recognises that vessels on the high seas are under the exclusive jurisdiction of the flag state of the vessel. The New Zealand government naturally hopes the Japanese authorities will release Mr. Bethune. However, we accept that he's been charged with trespass, and this matter needs to be resolved by the Japanese judicial system. The New Zealand Embassy in Tokyo is giving Mr. Bethune the consular assistance that any New Zealand citizen can expect in such circumstances. But just as New Zealand's judicial system operates independently of all outside direction, we cannot seek to interfere in the judicial processes of another country.
Gareth Hughes.
So if diplomacy is this government's preferred tool of engagement on the whaling issue, why doesn't he use it to assist the release of New Zealander Peter Bethune?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Mr. Speaker, I've made it very clear on behalf of the government that the New Zealand government will provide all consular assistance to Mr. Bethune that is appropriate in the circumstances. Can I tell him that I have taken the matter up directly with the Japanese ambassador myself, and I'm satisfied that the Japanese authorities are providing every cooperation with our embassy staff in Tokyo as a consequence.
The Honourable Chris Carter.
My question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Why has he not considered it important enough to contact personally Japanese Foreign Minister Okada to try and resolve this issue?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, I can advise that member that I have in fact had a telephone discussion with Minister Okada and arranged to have such further telephone conversations with Mr. Okada as are required to try and resolve these matters.
Gareth Hughes.
To the Minister, what political action would the government support New Zealanders taking to uphold the ban on commercial whaling?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Mr. Speaker, that is a question for the judgment of individuals, but the New Zealand government has made it very clear that it does expect its citizens and New Zealand flag vessels to uphold the laws of the sea and to ensure that they have proper regard for the safety of others in the vicinity.
That concludes our point of order. Peter Bethune.
Thank you, Sir. Sir, I seek leave to table a copy of the Maritime Crimes Act 1999 and particularly Section 8 of that Act, which imports the Rome Convention into New Zealand law, suggesting that Peter Bethune was acting lawfully in boarding the Japanese ship to arrest the captain for the purpose because of the destruction of the Andy Gill.
The member will resume his seat immediately. She cannot use a point of order to seek leave to table a document to argue a case, which she was just doing. That is totally outside standing orders. Now, leave has been sought to table that act, that document. Is there any objection? There is objection. Honourable members, I have received a letter from the Honourable Pete Hodson seeking to debate under Standing Order 380 the government's new immigration retirement package announced by the Minister of Immigration on 10 March 2010. This is a particular case of recent occurrence involving ministerial responsibility. However, as Speaker's ruling 175.6 makes clear, not every ministerial announcement, even an important one, will give grounds for an urgent debate. There must be such an element of urgency that the matter must take precedence over other business. This application for urgent debate is declined. I've also received a letter from Peter Bethune seeking an urgent debate on, quote, the government's decision, close quote, of 12 March 2010 not to denounce the arrest in Japan of Pete Bethune of Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, of the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. This is a particular case of recent occurrence. The government, though, has no responsibility for the actions of a private citizen or for the actions of the Japanese authorities, and there is a legal process being followed in Japan. An oral question on this matter has been lodged and answered today. I am not persuaded that this matter requires the immediate attention of the House to take precedence over other business. The application is also declined. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
Appropriation 2008-09 Financial